Newcastle Fans TV.
Hello and welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. This is Scoring the Players. Don't do many of these. Normally it's on the watch along, but we're going to do one today. For Newcastle 0, Chelsea 3. Sam, Carl Darlow had an absolute nightmare today.
Yeah, one of his worst performances I can remember in a Newcastle shirt. He's getting a 3 out of 10 for me. Distribution in the first half was absolutely appalling, which is why Dubravka was bought in the first place all them years ago now. Terrible. Obviously gave away a penalty as well. Absolutely got sold a deflection for the second goal, and was it the first or the second? Second, yeah. Just an absolute mare of a day for Carl Darlow. So he's getting a 3. Nothing positive to say about him really.
Harry, welcome back. 5 at the back for Newcastle. Surprise. Matt Ritchie. How do you think he got on this afternoon?
Again, like Darlow, I thought he had a shocker. Caught out of position for those 2 goals. Obviously, he's against high-class opposition. Reece James was getting really high up in that second half, and he caused him trouble. But the fact he scored 2 goals, and Ritchie was nowhere near him for both of them, give him a 3. He really wasn't his greatest afternoon. Didn't see much from him going forward either.
Kieran Clark, first of the 3 centre-halves this afternoon, unchanged side by Graeme Jones. Thought he was okay first half. To be honest with you, it's hard to judge because the performance that Kieran Clark gave was a Kieran Clark performance. But the standard is, if this is Kieran Clark, the standard's there. There's just too much of a gap, so I can't really rate him too highly because of the fact we've lost 3-0 at home. I think he was a bit better than Richie. I'll go 4. I think
that's harsh. A touch.
Yeah, but you got to think we're 3-0 at home.
Yeah, I know, but he made some good blocks. But look, I'm not saying he was freaking amazing, because who was? But, you know.
Was Jamal Lascelles freaking amazing?
First half an hour, I thought he was immense. Genuinely, I thought he was immense first half hour. After that, things went wrong. What did you give Clark?
4. Yeah,
same for Lascelles then, 4. Just defensive lapses. Right, let's try and find a nuance of positivity. I thought they played the line. What impressed me in the first half, especially the first half an hour, as I say, the defensive line was very, very good, and they caught Chelsea offside a lot. Ziyech in particular. So there you go. There's your positive. After that, let's move on.
Let's move on indeed. Emil Kraft, Harry. People just don't like him as a footballer for Newcastle. Simple as that. They don't, and they just don't have any confidence in his ability. They don't. Simple as that. On today's performance, does he fill you with any optimism against anybody in this division?
I didn't. To be honest, I didn't think he was that bad. I thought a lot of people raised their eyebrows last week when he came in against Palace, and I thought he coped quite well. Today, more of the same for the first half or so. And then it's just that 3rd goal really sums it up. He's just bypassed. He's just completely bypassed, and there's nothing there.
Did he do anything well?
I thought at times he came out and put a foot in quite well, but it wasn't his greatest. As we say, losing 3-0 at home, you can't really have a great defender in there because we let 3 goals in. It's simple. So I'd probably give him a 4 as well. I don't think it was any better or worse than the others particularly.
I'm going to shock us all here for the long-term viewers of Newcastle Fans TV. Javier Manquillo was my man of the match today.
I agree.
People know how I feel about him, but he was absolutely brilliant for Newcastle, considering the team we were up against, the performance of the players. He just seemed to be... He was nowhere near Chelsea's level, but considering who he has around him, Sam, today, he seemed like the only one that had a bit of bite about him today. I just thought, even going forward, he was chasing the goalkeeper. We actually won a bit of possession, obviously, but then we lost it a couple of seconds later, and he had our only shot on target. 79 minutes in.
We had a good 10-minute spell, didn't we, at 0-0 in the second half, and it all started from Manquillo shutting down Mendy and coming right out of position and chasing it all the way back. I agree with you. He was our best player today. And our only shot on target.
Exactly. 79 minutes it took Newcastle to have their only shot on target.
Hooray.
And we all would have saved it.
That's worth a 5-hour drive, wasn't it?
The thing is, though, right, if Match Today show this game and you're thinking, well, where's all the Newcastle chances? There ain't any.
Non-applicable. To coin the player's phrase.
Manquillo's getting a 6 out of 10 for me under the circumstances. Moving to midfield, it was birthday boy Sean Longstaff in the midfield today with Isaac Hayden, and Ryan Fraser was the 3. What did you make of Sean's performance today?
He was. I think it was an improvement on last week because it had to be. Look, we've come here at St James's Park today playing for 0-0. His job was to do like his old Michael Carrick role and sit in front of the back five and you know, man the fort with Isaac Hayden, which he did quite well to a degree. He's going to get a 4.5, Lee. I know you'll love me for that 0.5. Yeah, he's going to get a 4.5.
Do you think the tactics helped him and Hayden today?
God, no. The tactics don't help the entire midfield or the attack, whatever and wherever that is. So no, the tactics don't help him at all, which is why you've got Ryan Fraser, pacey winger, playing in centre midfield. But yeah, look, we've matched them up man to man, and it was always a tough ask, even though they've got players missing. But you still look at the two teams, match them up and say 9, 10, maybe even all 11 are better than what we've got. But tactics didn't help. But yeah, Sean gets I hope he has a lovely evening and a lovely birthday, because I like Sean. But yeah, he's still getting a 4.5.
Isaac Hayden came off, didn't come off. Chelsea scored and came off. Yellow carded again. Sam says it again about the fact that the formation and the tactics don't help our two central midfielders, even though we've got a winger playing as a central midfielder as well, which I'll touch on in a second. Isaac Hayden's and Sean Longstaff are doing about 25 jobs between the pair of them, and it's hard work for them. But again, when you're judging them on this sort of performance against a very good team, it's going to be very, very difficult to score them highly, Harry.
Yeah, as you say, it's very difficult to judge because they're doing so much work. We have so little of the ball that they're running around all afternoon. It's just making the job impossible. Listen, Hayden, I thought he did as well as he could, really. He put his foot in, he put himself about as he always does. You know, with Isaac Hayden, you're always going to get 100%. But I'd probably match him with Sean and go 4.5. I didn't see a lot of a difference between the two of them today. But yeah, it's not great. But the tactics just don't suit them. It's making the job really hard.
Ryan Fraser is anonymous. If you play football like that and you play tactics like that, why did we get him if we're going to play football like that? It absolutely bemuses me. It does. It's just ridiculous.
There was a couple of mini glimmers where he pulled out to the left and tried to get something going.
He
with
had
Richie.
something in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That was literally that was all you could tell about Ryan Fraser. The fact literally he got into a bit of space in the box in the first 30 seconds and he drags like a shot cross. And nobody was there, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was a cross. But I feel sorry for him because why play him in that position? I don't get what they go and look at every Monday morning going, right boys, we'll play 5-3-2 and we'll play a winger and centre midfield to make it really, really difficult for ourselves. I don't get it. Based on his performance, I'm going to stick with 4.5, and it's a generous 4.5 because he shouldn't be playing in that position. He shouldn't. Alan Saint-Maximin, another player that was anonymous today, Sam. But if you're playing him against Chelsea, just off the striker, where we know he's not really great in the air, playing half-decent long balls, but long balls in some sort of world, we're not going to get the best out of him. The only thing he did was Meg Ben Chilwell in the second half, and that was about it.
Hooray. Yeah, I mean, first half we had 11 men behind the ball, didn't we, including ASM, and he was quite disciplined, I thought, actually, playing within the shape that he wanted and, you know, to instruction. You know, when we really went for it in the second half and played with 10 men behind the ball, he was left up a bit further forward, just dizzying heights of attacking football. Couldn't get in the game. It's no secret he's our main danger, so Chelsea put men on him, as every team does. So he was nullified throughout. What can you give him? Did he try? Yes. Did he put a shift in? Yes, I think he did.
Chelsea did put 2 or 3 on him, especially in the second half.
They could afford to, because there was fuck all coming from anywhere else.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, Chelsea was they didn't have to get out of second gear or get out of first gear really, and they were still like so relaxed and they can just put 2 or 3 on them.
There's an opportunity missed there, because Thiago Silva, you know, seen it, done it all, fantastic defender, but he is 86 years old. I want to see ASM at least have the chance to run at him, which didn't happen because, I mean, Rudiger I'm a huge fan of. I think he's absolutely superb. And Christensen played well the other side, but they've had training sessions harder than the game today. As a score for ASM, I mean, what can you honestly give him? Should we stick with 4.5, seeing as though that seems to be the fashion at the moment?
Callum Wilson, he must go home tonight, sit down and go, well, that was a waste of time. What was I meant to do there? He had no chances at all and no service at all. Chelsea completely nullified any attacking threat that Newcastle United had this afternoon. He just needs to forget about this one and then hopefully gets a better opportunity against Brighton next week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a complete waste of time. He might as well have no one playing up there because all he's getting is long balls which are just either going over his head or he's having to back into someone. And then, like with Christensen, ridiculous anyway. He was completely nullified because Chelsea could just stick 2 or 3 defenders on him and they've just won the ball. And then there's even points where they back off Callum Wilson, just let him win the header because there's no one around him to win the ball. It's completely pointless. I don't really, as with ASM, it's difficult to score him because it's just an impossible task. I have to go 4.5 because I don't see what you can separate them on because it's just not his fault. But there was absolutely nothing for him today.
Fed up. Substitutes.
Do you need a hug?
No, I need a Vindaloo just to get rid of this block nose.
Oh yes, please.
Anyway, forget about my Saturday night. Joe Willock and Mickey Almiron both came out at the same time. Well, they tried to anyway. 30 seconds earlier might have been a little bit better before Chelsea scored, but that's probably going to be more on the last word with Lee in a bit. Miguel Almiron.
I thought Miggy was all right. I thought Willock was pretty poor when he came on, but I'm doing Miggy. Wanted the ball, made himself available. Typical Miggy Almiron. Wanted to run.
Should he have started? Because that was the only thing I would have said before the game. Even in those little pocket of spaces, I know it's Chelsea, but at least he might win us a free kick. He might get us up the pitch a little bit more. With Fraser and Hayden and Longstaff, it's just a bit, I don't know. It's apart from Fraser, he could possibly do a Miggy sort of job, but I don't think he can find those pockets of space that Almiron does.
Well, it's him or Fraser, isn't it? So, and people wanted Miggy out of the team and they want to see Fraser have a chance, so you can't drop Fraser after one game.
I see Fraser in his proper position, sorry.
Well, yeah, I couldn't agree more, but it is what it is. But, you know, it's either way, it's one or the other, and Fraser's got to have a proper run in the team, hasn't he, I suppose? But I don't disagree with what you're saying about the argument to start Miggy. He's getting a 5 from me. I thought he was bright, lively, and maybe he could have come on a bit sooner. I know it was 60 minutes.
30 seconds sooner?
Don't even. We'll come on to that with Graeme Jones. That's the difference between a coach and a manager.
Joe Willock, Harry came on at the same time, gave away a lot of fouls and just couldn't really get into the game, just like 99% of Newcastle United players this afternoon.
Yeah, I really wasn't impressed with him today. Didn't do a lot on the ball, gave the ball away a lot, and as you said, kept fouling people, give him a free. I really wasn't impressed with him today.
John Joe Shelby came on with about 10 minutes to go. I'm not going to rate him just because he played more minutes for the under-23s than he did for Newcastle today.
Playing well for them. Doing well.
Moving on. Graeme Jones. I'm going to start off with this one. We'll all try and agree on a mark and give our little bit of, I don't know, encouragement, disappointment, what we're going to call it. Look, the formation I have a massive issue with. I know it's against Chelsea. I understand the 5 at the back bit, but put 4 in midfield. Put 4 in midfield and leave Wilson up top on his own. Yes, Wilson might be a bit isolated, but he's got more chance of getting service. He's got more chance of getting service if he's got 2 out-and-out wingers on either side. If you really need to, go 4-5-1 and really pack the midfield and make it really difficult for Chelsea's midfield because they didn't have Lukaku with us today. They had Kai Havertz. He's not an out-and-out striker. That's my biggest issue with the formation. That 3 midfield does not work, in my particular opinion.
It's never worked.
Yeah, that's a good argument, but make the substitution. Make the substitution. If you make the substitution and you score 30 seconds later, you're not going to get as much shit as what you have done for not making the substitution at all. Doesn't matter if it's Thomas Tuchel, Brendan Rodgers, Nuno Espirito Santo, Lee Johnson. Just make the substitution regardless of whatever Chelsea are doing. Seriously, it's ridiculous. 3-0 at home against the European champions and Premier League leaders doesn't look that embarrassing, but we need a manager in as soon as possible. Graeme Jones is not the answer. He's not the answer. He's a temporary placement just to make sure that they get the right man, and that is a massive decision for Amanda Staveley. Based on today's performance, Graeme Jones is getting a 3 out of 10 for me today. Not good enough. Sam Milner, do you agree with 3 or do you go a bit higher, a bit less? What do you think?
No, I agree with everything you said.
That's a first.
I agree with everything you said. You know me, I've never wanted Graeme Jones as manager. I've never liked this whole thing when he first came in of Graeme Jones's mags. It made me feel deeply uncomfortable and embarrassed. Very good coach, we saw that. That's why he was called up to the England setup for the Euros. Look, he's just not a good manager. Failed miserably at Luton, and look what he's done today. I mean, if that was Bruce, can you imagine the flack he got? Well, he did against Arsenal all them seasons ago. Yeah, I don't want to see him in charge again. Caretaker manager 2 games is more than fair enough. We need someone in, fresh impetus, a voice from outside, which is why I'm kind of reticent, because you said last week, didn't you, about Roberto Martinez? They've got this previous working relationship, and I don't know. I mean, I just want someone completely from the outside and new impetus, because you need fresh eyes on this squad and these tactics, because they're just not working. It's pretty embarrassing at times.
Out of 10?
Yeah, 3.
Harry, first your mark, and secondly, what did Graeme Jones do wrong today, briefly?
3 for me as well, to be honest. And he just didn't set us up well at all. There's too deep. I mean, I know we're against Chelsea, but we could be a little bit higher, especially when we're losing. There was no pressure at 1-0. There was no reaction. That thing with the substitutions was ridiculous. I don't see why that happened. Absolutely ridiculous. They should have just got them on. And yeah, I just saw no reaction, and there was never any pressure on Chelsea at all. 1-0, 2-0, never any pressure. There was no creativity either when we were trying to break forward. No shot on target till the 79th minute. It's just absolutely horrendous. Yeah, no, 3 out of 10 for me. Not good enough.
3 out of 10 for Graeme Jones. Get your player ratings in. Who was your man of the match today? Ours is Manquillo.
Strawberry Corner.
Strawberry Corner gets a big mention as well, and war flags for that display before kick-off as well. That was fantastic. How quickly do Newcastle need a new manager, and who do you want to see coming as the new Newcastle United manager? Like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV. We'll see you all very soon.